Someone who might possibly be the worst dad in the universe, Adrian, the Mad Titan himself, Thanos, is rumored to return with everyone and their brother in Avengers Secret Wars. The Joker 2 may end up costing WB $200 million. There's no reason to go watch it in the theater because it dropped on October 4th.
Yeah.
And the digital release is going to be October 29th.
And that, my friends, is what we call straight to DVD.
For real, dude. The good news is Marvel stepped in. They got rid of them. They canned these guys. They fucking like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Y'all suck, pretty much. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
Yeah.
You know.
Wait a minute. We just did the bullshit that we always calling everybody else on, right?
My hypocrisy knows no bounds, Adrian. John Turturro was a better Carmine Falcone than Mark Strong. All right. Welcome to Only Comics. I'm Mike. This is Adrian.
What up, man?
What's up, bro?
It's been officially fall.
It has,
but
dude.
I didn't expect this allergy stuff to kind of sneak up or hang out or something like a old. You know, you go to the club and everybody's standing on the walls and stuff, and then everybody hooks up, and then at the very end, you got what's left on the wall.
There you go.
That's what this allergy stuff that has nothing to do with anything.
No, nothing.
Really doesn't even relate to what I just said.
Absolutely
but it just sounded like something I should just throw
sounded
in
good, dude. I liked it. I liked it. If you liked it, hey, like this video.
Hey,
how about that?
there you go.
And then we'll check. We'll see. You can find out when they liked the video. So we'll see how many people liked it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's nice fall. It's spooky season still.
Okay.
Did some Halloween shopping yesterday.
Did you?
Did some costumes. Yeah.
Well, I went Christmas shopping yesterday.
Wow.
So not for gifts, but for Christmas stuff.
Do you have to? They've been in the stores for weeks already.
Exactly. It's like, wait a minute. We haven't even gotten to Halloween yet. Right. The Halloween stuff is on sale.
Yep.
There is nothing about Thanksgiving.
Nope.
I mean, Thanksgiving is like the speed bump holiday.
Yeah.
Right. And then we go right into Christmas.
Right.
Everything's bombarded with Christmas.
Yep.
Dude.
Dude, I don't know about you, but I love me some Thanksgiving, bro.
I
can eat some turkey, dude,
Right.
some stuffing, homemade gravy, all kinds of shit.
That's it, boy. Go down to the hit that couch, man. Pop them
Oh
buttons.
yeah, the
watch
itis,
the game or something.
Yep.
Just pass out.
And Adrian, in our house, believe it or not, you wouldn't be able to guess this based off of my complexion, but we season the turkey, bro.
Really?
And not just salt and pepper either, dude. And it ain't dry. Some people say you're chewing a turkey and your teeth like stick together because of how dry it is.
Yeah.
That don't happen, dude.
No.
We cracked the code. But anyways, but what's that have to do with comics? Nothing.
Nothing.
This is Only Comics, where we discuss comics and only comics.
And sometimes something else.
Something, a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's why the show is also called Fun with Mike and Adrian.
There you go.
Or at times, Mike's Yapathon. It has been accused of being called that as well. So anyways, we like to pop into some news and rumors, Adrian.
Let's do it.
Got a handful of things going on. Deadpool Wolverine, this movie, killed it at the box office, right? We were big fans of this movie. We both had it on our top MCU movie list at number 5. I still feel that way a few weeks later. Do you?
Sure.
Yeah. When you saw this movie, when you left the theater, what as a fan, was there any desire to maybe see more of Deadpool and Wolverine?
No.
Okay.
I was satisfied with what they did. There was no lingering or unanswered questions at the end. And I kind of hope that they don't try to make a second one.
Oh boy.
Because it might fall into that whole Beetlejuice thing, dude. Or the Joker, right? But I mean, if they did this one, if they did do a second one, and it was, let's say, half as good as the first one, it would still be better than what I assumed the Joker was.
Right. Well, Adrian, I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but I got some news for you. There's a rumor. Well, I don't have news. It's a rumor, okay? One of these inside sources here. They claim that Marvel Studios is planning a sequel to Deadpool and Wolverine. They're saying this is probably in early development stages now.
Like 27?
I would assume 27, 28, maybe after Secret Wars. I don't know if they would try to sneak another one in before that. But so, how do you feel about this news, Adrian?
Well, as long as they don't try to top or make, I think that relationship between Wolverine and Deadpool was so unique in the movie that I don't think that's something that they could recreate. So I hope they don't try to top, per se.
Right. Almost got to do something a little different.
Yeah. Now, if you notice, Deadpool is like all over the place in the comics, right? Yep. He shows up here, there, and I mean, he goes back in time. I mean, he's like everywhere. If they do something like where he's like just kind of, well, I mean, he was popping around the multiverse in this one,
right?
But I mean, something just more not Wolverine Deadpool relationship wise, but something. The short answer is I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
As long as they don't try to make a better version of what they already did.
Right. Like don't use this Deadpool Wolverine formula and just do the same thing again, right? Like put him back in the void and here's other cameos. Like it's kind of like, a lot of things. If the story's good, I'm there for it.
Sure.
I almost would, just talking through this, Deadpool and Wolverine to me was a Deadpool movie featuring Wolverine.
Correct.
Right? I would like to now see a Wolverine movie featuring Deadpool. That would be completely different, same characters, because I don't know that you can recreate, well, maybe you could, but partly why I enjoy this movie so much was their dynamic was entertaining. How angry Logan was that way throughout the entire movie, right? But he still helped him reluctantly. It was just so true to the Wolverine character, but that was fun. I just don't know, to your point, if they do another movie and that dynamic is identical to, or they try to make it identical to what we already saw, it may just feel like a rehash.
Right.
So let's do something new with them, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Exactly.
But I'm here for it, dude.
Yeah, I'm good with it. Just, again, the story. Take a page out of Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah. I mean, the first one was good. The second one was good. Same characters per se, but completely different storylines. Yeah. So, and I like that spin. Deadpool and Wolverine is the first one, and then Wolverine and Deadpool is the second one. Yeah. So that could work too.
I mean, create some reason why Wolverine now needs Deadpool's help, and as much as it pains him to go, I mean, I think there's something there, dude. Sure. So since we are on the what would we call this super group? There's the Council of Kangs, right? Yeah. We're the Council of Critics, Adrian. Okay. Right now, the council is just me and you.
That's it.
Because we're the only two that
really matters.
The only two that matter, and we're the only two that are worthy. It's why we have Moynier over there. But as the Council of Critics, Adrian, I give this my blessing. Okay, so Marvel, Kevin, I know they're watching. They leaked this out because they wanted to get our feedback.
That's exactly right.
They could have just sent an email, like normal people, but they're playing hard to get. Sure, it's okay. I respect that. So they leaked this out. So I'm just letting them know. I bless this. So, dude, this movie's out on streaming now. Now, we were a little shy in our predictions. We said 1.4 million. It's about 1.3 and change. It did at the box office. But it's out on streaming now, so you can watch it at home. I was watching it the other night. It's one of those where you can just kind of have on in the background while I was like putting the show together and just had it on in the background. Sure. So there's that. Moving on, Adrian, Secret Wars we talked a lot about last week.
Yep.
Doomsday we talked a lot about. You and I, we both read we were both versions of Secret Wars this past year. But the newer one, I like them both, but the newer one was a great story.
Right.
God Emperor Doom was in there. Was that the first time you were introduced to God Emperor Doom?
It was. It was.
And I mean, a great version of Doom. I don't know about you, but I hope we see that version in Secret Wars in the movie. Let Robert Downey Jr. bring God Emperor Doom to life. I think that'd be cool.
Right. Now, is God Emperor Doom because he's God Emperor Doom? Or is God Emperor Doom because of the Molecule Man?
A little bit of both, I think.
First of all, I don't think Doom would be completely cool with that unless it meant him just, pissing on Reed some kind of way.
Right.
You got to have a Reed component.
You have to.
Right?
Yep.
But because his ego is such that, he's his own man on a cosmic level.
Right.
So it was a little Molecule Man in there somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Without him, he wouldn't have been that powerful.
Right.
But I think, he also had to have his vision. And I think Doom brought that. So I think it was a kind of perfect marriage of the two, if you will.
Sure.
But one of the rumors last week we talked about Scarlet Witch and Doom being in this relationship.
Right.
And then we heard there was a rumor earlier in the year that said that Scarlet Witch may play the role of the Molecule Man in Secret Wars on screen. And she is that powerful.
Right.
I mean, she's probably... Is there a MCU character that sticks out in your mind as more powerful than Scarlet Witch on screen that we've seen so far?
On screen?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think so.
No. There's many in the comic books.
Sure.
But not on screen.
But so far what they've showed us, it's like she's at the top.
Right.
I mean, you could say in some aspects, Captain Marvel, the ability to literally like regenerate a star, I mean, from a power set, but I don't know. I think I'd put Scarlet Witch at the top.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, she could change Captain Marvel's whole environment.
Yeah.
Or at least make her think that her environment is different.
Right.
Right. And that alone.
Correct.
Or she can reach into her mind and figure out some kind of, like Storm has claustrophobia, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Figure out what that little thing is and put her in a box. And,
right.
and
in seconds.
She's in seconds. And she's done. I mean, she created a whole town.
Correct.
And convinced everybody in it
right.
that they were in this whole different, universe or whatever. So,
which we're still seeing the effects of that in
right.
Agatha, right?
Yes.
It's like, in the beginning, Agatha... It felt connected to Wanda, and then it kind of took a turn into this whole witch's road. But now with the past couple episodes, you see how much of an impact Wanda still has over the MCU.
Right.
So yeah, I could see this version of Doom becoming God Emperor Doom with the help of Scarlet Witch, if that does happen. If he can somehow convince her to help him use her powers or whatnot.
I'm seeing a theme here.
What's that?
The old dudes like getting these chicks, man.
Yeah.
You got Doom with Wanda.
Right.
You got Magneto with Rogue and whoever else. Old Blue Eyes. Logan, who's an old man.
True.
With Jean.
Yep.
Hey,
man.
Scott, the Scotts in the world.
Yeah.
Better step up or step aside.
Yep.
For real.
Old men are back, dude. The boys are back in town.
That's it.
But while I bring up God Emperor Doom in Secret Wars, there's a scene, even though it's a commonly called a scene, so it feels like a scene, right?
Sure.
Where God Emperor Doom literally soul snatches your boy Thanos, dude. Holy shit. You remember this?
Yep.
Dude, that's a badass scene.
Right.
Now, I got some news that I think would be a good thing. So, Doomsday comes out May 1st of 26. Secret Wars May 7th of 27 as of right now. A lot of people are supposed to make their return in these movies. Both films directed by the Russos, right? Cool. Captain America, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame all were directed by the Russo brothers, so they got a track record. But one of the cameos that is rumored, or newly rumored, is Thanos. Your boy Thanos is rumored to show up in Secret Wars, which could mean, Adrian, we could get that scene on screen.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel about obviously, it would probably be another variant of Thanos. We've already seen two variants, so it's not abnormal for him to show up.
Right.
How do you feel about Josh Brolin coming back as Thanos for Secret Wars?
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Now, do you think Marvel will give us that iconic scene from the comics? Do you think we'll get to see Thanos soul snatched in the MCU?
I mean, what other purpose would he be there
right.
for? I mean,
absolutely. So I'm voting if this will be a theme around here for a while. Marvel, give it the okay.
Now, Josh Brolin. I mean, are you saying that Thanos is rumored to show up?
Yes.
Okay, so not Josh Brolin, because I'm thinking they could pull like a Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
Instead of getting Captain America, we get the Human Torch. So they can instead of Thanos, they can give us a Cable.
Right.
So.
Oh no, the rumor does say
Thanos.
That's a good point. Yep. So, dude, I mean, the more you hear about this, honestly, the more excited I am about just seeing this attempt to, and our prediction a few weeks ago was that MCU will top Infinity War and Endgame with these movies.
Right.
I think the potential's there.
Sure.
There's a lot of naysayers out there, Adrian. They go like,
of course.
they can't do that. They're never going to top it. This is my favorite one. It's lazy to bring Robert Downey Jr. back. And you know the funny thing? Nobody can explain to me why it's lazy.
Whatever.
isn't it their goal to make money?
Yeah.
Isn't it their goal to make the best movie possible?
Yeah.
So if you go Robert Downey Jr., great actor, already proven to know how to, act in these MCU movies, so on and so forth. If it's like that's a home run, why would we not bring him back? Out of fear of being accused of being lazy? I think it's actually brilliant.
Sure.
It works. So why fuck it up?
And this is his next chapter in his life as an actor.
Right.
Right. Because he's played the younger Tony Stark.
Yeah.
He's getting older now. Again, like we said, he can't play Wolverine till he's 90.
Right.
Or play Tony Stark until he's 90.
Yeah.
So give the man another role. Give him an opportunity to keep feeding his family, you know? And this is a natural progression. You got this older, more authoritative comic book character. Let him roll with it. And I think he would be very good in that role.
I don't think there are some people. I'm not looking at Marvel like, is that a lazy move? I'm just looking, is it the right move?
Right.
Is it going to give us the potential to see an amazing movie? I think so.
Sure.
They also got, handed a bag of shit with the whole Jonathan Majors situation.
Right.
Because however you feel about what happened with him, didn't happen, the issue from a business standpoint is they had this guy ready to play this big role, already started. He's going to be a huge part of these next two movies. Got these legal things. Disney's Disney, so, they're going to do what they're going to do. You don't have to agree with it, but it's Disney, The fucking Mickey Mouse. They Mickey Moused them, So then they had to pivot when they had movies and plans set up to go this route. They had to pivot with time to they had to pivot quick so they actually could bring this out because, they don't want to delay this 10 years.
Sure.
So I think it was, I say a genius decision, honestly. You said, a few weeks back, like a master chess move, and I couldn't agree more.
It was a shit thing that the whole Jonathan Major thing that happened, but I think the outcome is very good.
Yeah.
Considering what happened, sure.
Right.
But what they're actually doing with it, genius move.
Absolutely. I mean, I still fall on the side of I would have loved to see Majors back in the MCU. I'd love to see him get a second chance in the MCU.
Right.
I'm glad he's starting to get a second chance in Hollywood.
Right.
No, I'm not saying everything he did was perfectly fine. I just people fuck up.
Right.
And as long as there's not a history or he's not a repeat, give him the chance to redeem himself.
It doesn't work that way.
It does not work that way, dude. It does not.
T'Challa's gone
for real. But I still would, got fingers crossed that, Kang shows up in Secret Wars. That'd be cool. Yeah. Even if it's just a cameo. I understand you don't want to make him the focus anymore, but
that would be a lot though, dude. Yeah. I mean, you got Doom, you got Kang. I mean, that would be a lot.
Yeah. But somehow they have to get rid of the Council of Kangs. They were now, I guess they don't have to, but people are going to talk about it on shows like this for, ad nauseum if they don't.
Sure.
Because at the end of Ant-Man, Quantumania, they show the Council of Kangs, where there's literally hundreds of different Kang variants.
Well, they'll probably do a one-liner, like probably in Beetlejuice, how they got rid of Alec Baldwin role, and there was somebody else in there. That,
the dad, the guy who had like the sexual shit, the accusations.
Right. So they'll probably do like a one-liner, and that will explain all that. Well, all the Kangs killed each other off.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, or Doom destroys him, maybe off screen, but just to set that, hey, Doom is this big of a threat. He wiped out the entire fucking Council of Kangs.
The opening scene is all Kangs land across the multiverse, dead and shit, right?
There you go.
And it's done.
Dude, if that's in that movie, I'm sending y'all an invoice. I'm just saying, bro, because like we got to start charging Marvel. Right, I mean, if they're not going to reach out, and that coffee you're drinking, no one hooked you up with that yet. It's not even coffee.
That's not even coffee, man.
You're on the tea.
It's
bro.
tea, man.
Okay.
It's tea. 3 weeks.
Damn,
3 weeks now. No coffee, no sugar, no cream, dude.
Shit,
it's gone.
Just in time, bro. Just in time for the winter season. So, moving on. Tom Hardy. For some reason, he says that he'd want to fight Batman as Venom. Yes, Batman as Venom.
He just not trying to stay relevant. He knows that you like, you're a Batman guy, and that's his backdoor way of trying to stay relevant. That's all.
Now, the reason he is a little relevant right now.
Wait a minute, didn't he say that he's done with Venom?
He is. Yep.
Oh.
So that's He could be maybe throwing us a curveball, as they say. Mm-hmm. He may be pulling the Andrew Garfield.
Right, and just lying.
Just might be lying.
Oh, okay.
Now, because the reason I bring this up is next week, October 25th, well, actually, a few days, right? Mm-hmm. 4 days from now, Venom, The Last Dance will be released in theaters.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to go see this, okay? I'm intrigued by the beginning of Null's story. So I don't know a lot about Null, but he's like the god of the symbiotes, right? Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm intrigued is this character is rumored for Spider-Man 4 as well. Now, obviously, up until now, unless this changes, Venom has always been a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man.
Right.
Which I don't like. Well, you think about it. Fucking Venom 1, Venom 2, Morbius, Madam Web. I'm sure I'm missing something else, but there's at least 5 movies, now Venom 3, that are Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man.
Right.
And I don't mean like, we talk about the Penguin. We're going to get to that later and how great that show is. Mm-hmm. To me, that's not a Penguin. That's not a Batman show without Batman.
Right.
Because it takes place in that universe. Mm-hmm. Whether Batman shows up or not, what's going on here will eventually impact Batman, I believe.
Sure.
This movie is just all these Spider-Man characters and no Spider-Man even in the universe.
Wow.
It's crazy. So when I say, stop making Batman shit without Batman, I don't mean the Penguin.
Right.
I mean things like Gotham Knight, or, they get these little shows that you see, like even Titans. It was great, but there was really no Batman in it.
Right.
He needs to be in it, just like Spider-Man should be in this. Now, there's a lot of teases here, Adrian.
Yeah, but Batman was in Titans.
Yeah.
Kinda. At least they acknowledged his presence.
Right.
Because Dick actually killed him off.
Yep.
So I think that's a little different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's definitely different than a Venom movie where they don't even mention the character Spider-Man.
Right.
Or Madam Web where we're having a baby. His name is cut to the next scene because we can't fucking say Peter Parker. I mean, come on.
Right.
This is not that. The Penguin's not that, and even Titans is not that. But Venom: The Last Dance coming out next week, a few days. The writer and director Kelly Marcel, she did some interviews recently, and this is what she said about Null. This is just the introduction to Null. Obviously, he's a massive character, so you could never do one and done with him. So this is just a taste of Null, and you will meet him, and then what the future holds for him, who knows? So she's, she's teasing here.
I wish they'd just stop with the bullshit. Come on, man. You know he's going to show up later. Yep. Why don't you just say, listen, even if you don't have the rights to, we'd love to pitch him in this movie.
Got it.
Or we'd love to have him go and be in this movie with this character.
Yep.
Things like that. Just stop with the fucking...
So you'd rather just know. You don't feel like that's a spoiler?
No, I think they create this artificial marketing for intrigue, and it's not intrigue; it's just annoying.
Gotcha.
That's my thing.
Okay.
Stop lying. Stop dancing around the questions. Stop doing all this kind of stuff, right? Because we know that you are eventually going to make a movie. You're not giving us the details of the movie, so the movie itself is a mystery.
Yeah.
But then you lie and say, well, we're not going to create this movie, or this actor's not going to be in there, or, it's just crazy, dude.
Well, she goes on. She says, the story of Venom and Eddie closes here, but as you know, Adrian, there are lots of symbiote stories in the canon, so there are lots of places to go, and there may even be some Easter eggs in here that starts the journey off. So she's all but saying, this is going to continue. Now, they asked Tom Hardy about what are the odds of Spider-Man showing up, and he goes, there are always possibilities. I couldn't possibly say anything because this is the last movie. Yeah, I would love that. Sounds like he doesn't want to say no because Spider-Man's showing up. Mm-hmm. Or unless Tom Hardy's also full of shit.
Yeah.
Now, here's the funny part. This is just maybe my own fucked up humor, but when they asked him about Spider-Man, he goes, I'll fight Spider-Man whenever he wants. I would love that. Who wouldn't? I'd love to fight Batman as Venom. There's just so much to do with these characters. All right. Can somebody maybe sit Tom Hardy down and explain to him that Batman is not part of the Marvel Universe? He'd love to fight Batman with Venom.
There have been crossovers, not on the big screen.
Correct.
but
like
it's possible.
It is possible.
I mean, just like the chick before, like, oh, it's possible. Yeah, anything's possible.
Sure. But let's just have Venom fight Spider-Man first. Let's just start with that.
Yeah. Let's start with
Batman.
That. Maybe some Green Goblin or something.
Right.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody. In the Marvel universe first.
Sure. Now, what would be interesting is if Tom Hardy's telling the truth and he's done with Venom. There's no Venom in the MCU, but there's no character. It sounds like he's all but confirmed this same character to be in the MCU. Mm-hmm. If Spider-Man gets the black suit from Null and has no interaction with Venom. Because so far, the Spider-Man story in the MCU is very different than your traditional Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. He's got the friend Ned. That's more of that's closer to Genki, Miles' friend in the comic, right?
Right.
The MJ's not a traditional MJ. There's no Gwen Stacy. Like, it's a very different Spider-Man story. So it wouldn't be crazy for him to get the symbiote from someone else or not even interact with Venom.
Right.
And either way, dude, again, if the story's good, I'm there for it. But this has worked for me. Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit intrigued in this Venom movie, and I've never been intrigued in the first two, so.
I'm not saying that I won't watch it because actually the Venom movies, outside the fact that there is no Spider-Man, they're kind of like Peacemaker. They're kind of mildly entertaining.
Yeah.
They're not bad. They're not actually. I would rather watch a Venom movie, either one of them, than Madam Web.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So, I'm not saying I won't go watch it. But we'll just see.
Okay, we'll see. If you're bored.
If I'm bored.
I think I'll go check it out. But the Venom movies for me they're probably the best of those bad Sony movies.
Yes.
Right? It's better than Morbius, better than Madam Web, better than...
I would agree to that. They are the best of the bad Sony movies.
And they are entertaining.
Yeah.
They're a little off. Tom Hardy gets annoying. I like the Venom a lot more than the Eddie Brock. Mm-hmm. The Venom character looks cool on screen. Mm-hmm. I love that he's giant. They did that well.
Right.
So they're not all bad. They're just
They're
just Sony movies.
I'm just waiting for the storekeeper to get the symbiote.
Oh yeah.
Isn't she gonna be dancing or something, some shit in this next movie or whatever?
Yeah, she is. Hey, The Last Dance.
There you go.
See that? Moving on. Joker 2, Adrian. Joker 2. May end up costing WB $200 million. So when we say things like, who asked for this?
Right.
This movie was released October 4th. Okay. It's domestically grossed $51 million so far. Had a $200 million budget, by the way. Globally, it's at $165 million. Okay. The projections say that the movie will end up somewhere between 210 and 215 worldwide.
Damn.
Yes. So when you hear that number, you go, well, they spent 200. If they made 215, they made 15 million, right?
No.
That's not how it works. There's at least another 100 million to market the movie.
Right.
And distribute it. So the way these movies work, a $200 million budget, you would need to gross at least 450 to even break even.
Right.
They're not going to do that. So if they gross 210, 215,
let's say 250.
250.
They still 200 off.
They're 200 in the hole, dude. That's crazy. And I don't know. I just think about shit like when this was going on, because the rumor is that Todd Phillips didn't want any involvement with WB. Mm-hmm. Like he wouldn't even talk to them. But you got 200 million on the line. Why didn't somebody step in and go like, dude,
Right.
We're not doing that. Like we talked about the Joss Whedon effect a couple months back. But remember when, Zack Snyder was working on Justice League. Now, this was the bad decision. It was not a good outcome, but they removed him, brought Joss Whedon in. Somebody should have probably removed this guy and brought someone else in.
This guy and I talking to the person that's footing the bill is like, you hire a contractor to build a pool in your backyard, and the contractor says, I'm not going to listen to anything that you're saying, but I'm going to put a toilet in the middle of the pool.
Right.
What kind of sense does that make, dude?
Yep.
I'm going to do what I want to do with your money.
Right.
okay, somebody made a mistake.
Dude, there's a lot of conspiracy theories. This is what like some of the comment defenders, as I call them, say. Some of them say that Todd Phillips didn't want to make a sequel, so this was his way of sticking it to WB. I don't think so. I think that now he did originally say he didn't want to make a sequel, but then we know Joaquin Phoenix had this dream of Joker singing with someone in jail, and he called Todd Phillips and like, sure, we can make that dumbass movie. Why not?
But here's the thing. You are a director, producer, whatever. In other words, your name is going to be attached to this thing forever.
Right.
So what'd you do? Just get lazy? Or you didn't want to make it so bad that you jeopardize your own name? I don't think so.
Yep.
Push it off at the very least.
Sure.
You know, hey, dude, this movie sucks. This script sucks so bad. Let's just take a couple of years and reflect. And maybe you'll fucking forget about that you had the dream or something.
Right.
But do your best when your name is on it. And it sounds like that's what he did not do.
No, absolutely not. This movie, so there's no reason to go watch it in the theater because it dropped on October 4th.
Yeah.
And the digital release is going to be October 29th.
And that, my friends, is what we call straight to DVD.
For real, dude.
It is so bad that we're not. So for those that don't know, there's an old school term, straight to tape.
Yep.
Or straight to DVD, right? It's like when a movie is so bad that it doesn't even warrant. There's no marketing behind it. So whatever the budget was, the $50 that it took to make the movie, that's all the money that they spent. But it was so bad, there's no more marketing money. There's no theater buys. There's no distribution. It goes right from the studio to DVD.
Bro, that's 25 days in the theater.
So that's pretty much what they did here. This is straight to DVD, almost.
Yeah.
Dude.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Deadpool Wolverine we talked about just hit streaming like a couple weeks ago. Right. And that came out in July. It's almost 3 months.
Right.
Which is actually, remember back in the day, a movie would come out and then it would come out to rent first, but it'd be like a year later.
Right.
It wasn't 90 days, though. Maybe, I mean, I was young, but it felt like a year. Dude, at least.
Yeah.
Some movies even longer.
It was definitely a while.
Yeah. You're like, bro, I haven't seen this. When the fuck this movie come out?
Right.
When will I be able to see it? And it dropped in Blockbuster, guys. Don't get nervous. We know it's a lot before some of your time, but Blockbuster. Like any of y'all remember going to Blockbuster Friday night and getting the deals, rent 2, get 1 free, and all that shit. Right. Be kind, rewind. Yep. Remember that they charge you if you didn't fucking rewind the shit?
Yep. That's like you go and you rent a car and you don't fill the gas tank up. They charge you for that. And if you are budget, they'll charge you for it anyway, whether you do fill it up. Correct. And you tell them that you don't want that shit. I'm just saying.
Dude, and what sucked was they had those rewinders right there. Yeah. That literally would rewind the tape in front of you in like 15 seconds. Right. But they charge you like $2 for it. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, to be honest, one of their staff had to press the button to open the rewinder, take your tape out the box, put it in the rewinder, close the thing, and hit the rewind button. That's work, bro.
It is work, dude. You know what else was work? When you got that double VCR, and you could record. The statute of limitations have ran out, Adrian. But you could rent the movie. You could put a blank VHS in the other side, hit that little red button, dude, and all of a sudden you got yourself a movie.
That's right.
Not, I'm assuming that's how it maybe went down.
And if you just happen to be in the mall with a trunk full of these red buttoned tapes.
Correct.
Yeah,
you could. Yeah, you make a little money, dude.
Then the $2 is an expense.
Absolutely.
That's
business expense.
It's a business expense.
Yeah,
there you go.
Cost of doing business, dude. But this movie, to Adrian's point, back then there was straight to VHS, dude. Right. It was like movie never hit the theater. All of a sudden, you just were walking down Blockbuster, and then Joker Tuesday. I didn't even know they were making a movie like this.
Remember in Blockbuster, they would have like a whole wall. Like when it was a real popular movie, it would be a whole wall of these tapes, and you would go in there, and they were all gone.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, pissed.
Yep. Yeah, because they had the movie case, and you'd like remove back. Oh, nope.
Yep.
Nope. Yeah. Yep. That sucked.
Wait, did anybody call Guinness?
No.
I mean, this has got to be the fastest movie to actually be released and then back to streaming. right?
It might be, dude. It might be.
If anybody knows the answer, what's the movie that's been actually released, not straight to DVD, but's been released to the theater, but then out of the theaters and available by some other medium? Not, streaming today. It would have been DVD or, God forbid you get back to like VHS. What is that?
Dude. That's crazy. I'd put money on it, dude. I think this is definitely up there. Wow. It might be number one, So moving on. Something that's not straight to DVD. This is straight to streaming because it's a show. Daredevil Born Again.
Nice.
It's going to hit Disney Plus March 3rd of next year, dude.
Wow.
Literally like 3-4 months away.
Right. It sounds so far away, but it really isn't.
It's not, dude. It's really not. This is a show. They revamped this show. So originally they had this team of directors in there, Matt Corman and Chris Ord. They were hired as head writers in May of 22. And they gave this series an episodic structure and a lighter tone than Netflix initially. They started recording this. There was going to be 18 episodes. And, the episodic versus serialized. So like a serialized series is like what we're used to, where the story just goes throughout the entire show. Episodic is where it's like sitcoms, where each episode is kind of standalone.
Sure.
It may tie into, but you could pick up watching this show, season 3, not know anything about the first seasons and enjoy it, know. Even when I just hear that, it sounds odd for an MCU show to be episodic.
Well, I'm thinking that there's so much in there's so much in all of these comic book characters, worlds.
Yeah.
I mean, so they're basically making mini movies. So this is a stream of individual movies as opposed to a stream of conscious, let's say, one thought across many movies. So you got 10 episodes, so you're going to have 10 different movies as opposed to one long movie streamed, broken up into 10 episodes.
Right.
So I'm thinking that's probably the only reason they're doing it, because there's so much diversity. There's so many, just like Batman, Daredevil gets into, like ninjas and cults and all of this crazy stuff. Right. You got Elektra. She's from a League of Assassins kind of level thing. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
Well, the good news is Marvel stepped in. So they filmed a handful of episodes. The execs reviewed the footage, and they felt it wasn't working. Okay. They felt that the episodic take was just a huge divergence from the original Netflix show. They got rid of them. They canned these guys. They fucking dude, get the fuck out of here. Y'all suck, pretty much. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said. They retained some of the elements, but then they hired 2 new directors. And the approach switched to the serialized approach, and they cut it down to 9 episodes. And they have actually...
From how many?
18.
Damn.
Yeah. That's a lot, dude. 18. Right. Cut it down to 9, and they've actually went in the opposite direction and said that this show is more gritty, more violent than the original Netflix series.
Well, because they know that people have a taste for it.
Yeah.
And I hope they at least make them 5 or 10 minutes longer.
Yep.
For 9 episodes. Right. Because, that's a lot. That's a lot to put into.
Yeah, don't give us the Agatha length episodes, 20 minutes when it's all said and done. Right. give us some meat on the bone for Daredevil.
Yep. Or the Secret Wars version.
Oh God.
45-minute, run time, but actually 13 minutes of movie time.
Yep. Yeah, no, fuck that. But dude, I'm looking forward to Daredevil Born Again. Yeah. It's rumored to adapt the Devil's Reign story, which I highly recommend. People always comment, what should I read? I don't know if that may be a good one to start with. It's just a great story. It starts with Kingpin, Wilson Fisk. Basically, I believe he's the mayor, and he's the mayor of New York, and basically makes using your superpowers illegal. Wow. And then creates a task force with supers that want to play along and be on his side to go and shut down or arrest someone if they use your power. So basically, say you're a mutant, you're Gambit, dude. You're out in the fucking mall, you're going to save somebody, you're flipping your cards around, you're doing your thing, and then the task force shows up and they're like, bro, you can't be doing that. And you go to jail.
But they're mutants themselves.
Yeah, they have powers.
Okay. So there's no ban on it's like cops and civilians.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So you can't do certain things.
Correct.
But we can because we've been deputized.
Yep. Same thing, dude. Yep. You can't use your powers, but because I sided with Kingpin, dude, I'm using my powers. And then you get arrested. So that's essentially, the premise of that comic. Mm-hmm. And we know at the end of Echo, the show that should have been the Kingpin show, right? Right. We see this storyline teased. Kingpin's on the plane. Right. There's a news clip about New York needing a new mayor. They describe the mayor they need as basically Kingpin, right? Someone more strength, whatever. I remember the exact words. And then he's sitting back like, oh, got it. As the kids go, bet. But I'd love for them to adapt this story, and it sounds like they are going to adapt elements. So I think this is going to be a hit, dude. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am too, definitely.
And you're a big fan of the Netflix shows, right? Actually, you were the one that were telling me to watch them for a while. Yeah. And I've only seen like the first 2 seasons of Daredevil and then the first one of Jessica Jones.
Right. A
lot of these characters are rumored to show back up in this show.
Sure. So. It makes sense. Right. I mean, so they had Daredevil, they had the Punisher.
Yep.
They had Iron Fist, they had Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, then they had the Defenders.
Yeah.
The only one I would probably not recommend out of all of that is the Iron Fist one.
Yeah.
That was it was lame.
Yeah.
It was lame.
I heard that was bad. How was the Defenders?
Actually, I don't think I've actually even seen the Defenders when they all. Actually, I did. I mean, it was probably Iron Fist esque.
Yeah, I heard it was kind of a letdown compared to the other ones.
Right.
That,
So those two then, out of all of that, but Punisher was like, I'm like, are they even showing this shit on TV now? The way he was like killing people and stuff. So and then they get into the Daredevil thing.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones was like at a whole different level psychologically.
Yeah.
They didn't really, other than strength, they didn't really show her power. Like, I don't know if she could jump real far or fly or whatever, but she couldn't do it very good.
Yeah.
But the movie was the storyline was still good.
It was.
And the fact that Claire was part of all of that made it even better for me.
Yeah. Yep. And then the dude, the main villain in Jessica Jones, what the hell's his name?
That's the one who could
control
people's minds.
Yeah. Yep. In the comics, he's purple. I can't fucking think of his name. Kilgrave.
Yep.
There you go. Dude, that's a sick villain, dude.
Right.
Like, that's someone who could show back up and play a presence in these movies coming, because there's gonna be a lot of other villains too. We talk a lot about the heroes that are gonna show up, but there's gonna be a lot of villains. I mean, it's the whole premise of Secret Wars, right? There's both.
Right. And the thing that made Kilgrave so villainy or villainous is that his powers is so subtle and you don't see them.
Right.
A lot of the villains, you see it. It's an external something,
Correct.
Right? But he can target you and convince you to do things that's so organic, right? Mm-hmm. That you don't even know that you're being controlled.
Yep.
And then even on the outside, people don't know that you're being controlled.
Right.
So it looks like you're doing this all of your own accord. Yep. So that's what makes him so just, it was crazy.
It was, dude. I mean, it started off with when he had that girl, Starfire from or Starlight from
The Boys.
The Boys.
Right.
He makes her kill her parents in the elevator.
Right.
In the beginning of the show, it's like, oh, dude, this shit's gonna be good. So I hope we see Kristen Ritter back as Jessica Jones, Luke Cage.
Oh yeah.
I forget the actor's name, but do phenomenal Luke Cage.
Yeah.
So and Charlie Cox is Daredevil, dude. Like, I'm not convinced he's not really blind.
Right.
He's a good
he
dude,
is.
I saw him on stage with Vinny D at the New York Comic Con. I saw some clips, and I'm like, Like, yo, where's his cane? Like, I forget because he's just that good at bringing that character to life.
Right. And I've always said, I mean, you got to project outside of whatever you're in order to convince people. And that's what what's her face in the Penguin? Sophia.
Yeah. We're going to get into that later. Holy shit. So, stay tuned because we're talking Penguin. We're talking the latest episode. Well, not the latest because, again, we record Sunday, so we can't look into the future yet, Yeah. But maybe since we're on the Council of Critics, Adrian, maybe DC could just send us the link early.
Right.
So we can watch it and talk about it here. So, hey, James Gunn, Matt Reeves, just send it me and Adrian. That's it. We won't share it. We'll just use it for review purposes only. So.
We won't press the red button on your link.
No VHS. So, all right, moving on, Adrian. I'm gonna wrap comic news and rumors up with a little thumbs up, thumbs down.
Let's do it.
Like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe to the Spotify. And go on TikTok and talk about us. You can do that too. So, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Number 1. Marvel Studios rumored to be planning a sequel to the number 5 MCU movie of all time. Well, according to me and you here at Only Comics, Deadpool and Wolverine. I give this a thumbs up.
Sure, thumbs up.
Someone who might possibly be the worst dad in the universe, Adrian, the Mad Titan himself, Thanos, is rumored to return with everyone and their brother in Avengers Secret Wars. I give this a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Everybody should be in Secret Wars.
Dude, I heard a rumor that me and you might even be in Secret Wars.
Hey, if Kevin Hart can play a tree stump in Secret Wars, we can be in that too.
He's going to play a little armadillo, dude. Just running around. Dude, I know one thing for sure. If I'm watching TV, watching sports, I'm going to see commercials with Patrick Mahomes, Snoop Dogg, and fucking Kevin Hart, dude.
Yep.
One of those, I promise you, I'll go home today and watch some football. I will see all 3 of them.
And because of Taylor Swift, her up and coming her boyfriend, right?
Travis Kelce.
He's trying to do some stuff, make his own moves, whatever.
It's crazy. Anyways, moving on. Tom Hardy, for some reason, says he'd fight Batman as Venom, but he also kind of teases the Spider-Man may show up, may not. I'm just going to give this a thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs down, dude.
All
Nobody
around.
cares.
I mean, I know I'm wearing the Venom shirt, and I do know I will go see this movie, but just this whole he is in, he's not, we're tired.
Right.
We're tired of seeing Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man. We're tired of seeing Batman shit without Batman. Put the fucking main character in the story. But
what I think he's missing is that Venom is Venom all by himself.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy isn't Venom.
True.
Just like all these people that have played Spider-Man. Spider-Man is Spider-Man. You're gonna have a good actor. You're gonna have a bad actor.
Right.
But just because you're the only Venom thus far, that doesn't make you Venom.
Correct.
So nobody cares.
Yep. Sounds like what you're saying is they should just cast me as Venom since I'm wearing a shirt.
You
think I'd be a better Eddie Brock than Tom Hardy?
Sure.
Yeah.
You got the size.
Right. Yeah. Fuck it. Let's do it. All right.
Or Bane. You're bigger than
I could be Bane too. And I am bald. Do it without, there you go, without the hat.
Yep. You will show up in a porn flick next week.
I'll tell you what, though, if I was Bane, you would understand what I'm saying.
Right.
I wouldn't sound like that. Joker 2, the second movie with Joker in the title, but now not in the movie, according to Todd and Phillips, might cost WB as much as $200 million. Not only that, this thing was only in the theaters, or only will be in the theaters for 25 days, going to hit streaming on October 29th. I give this a thumbs up because it confirms what I said long ago.
Right.
Who the fuck's asking for this?
Right.
Obviously, nobody.
I was going to give it a thumbs up, too, because it's just funny, dude. I mean, you put out a shit movie, and this is the result.
Yep.
So.
Yep. As Joker said in the first one, you get what you fucking deserve. Last piece of news. Daredevil Born Again set to hit Disney Plus in March 3rd of next year. Giving this 2 huge thumbs up. I can't wait for this show.
Right. Disney pushing it as opposed to Netflix. I'm not used to that, but whatever. Yeah. It is what it is. But I'm thumbs up on the release.
Yeah. But we've seen with Echo. As much as that show wasn't great, we saw how brutal Disney is willing to get.
Sure.
So I bring it on, dude.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, that is thumbs up.
That was like the
down.
Power Twins. We said that in unison.
Ooh, we're connected, dude. It's a synergy. That's another one of our mutant abilities.
That's it.
So moving on, Adrian.
Are we mutants or are we just superhuman?
I think I'm a mutant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
I mean, but you can be whatever you want.
Sounds cool.
It does, right? It sounds better than superhuman. No, I don't want to be a fucking human. I'm a mutant.
Yeah, you leap a 25-foot stick using another stick.
Yep.
Superhuman.
Absolutely. All right. Like this, share this, subscribe if you haven't. We're going to move on to hit or miscast, Adrian. I got 5 casting choices from the past. I am going to throw these at you, and you're going to let me know, in your opinion, if it was a hit or a miss.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. There is really no theme to this week. It's just the theme is all over the place. Okay, so you do this every. You're used to that.
Sure, right.
You know, number 1, Tom Hiddleston as Loki.
Hit.
Yep, knocked it out of the park. Number 2, Ray Fisher as Victor Stone / Cyborg.
Miss.
Tiana Paris as Monica Rambeau.
Hit.
Emilia Clarke as Gaia.
Oh my God. I'm delaying because I'm swallowing the puke, but miss.
Miss. Benedict Wong as Wong.
Hit.
All right. Let's go back through these. I think I agree across the board with you. Tom Hiddleston as Loki, phenomenal.
Right.
Dude, like, really elevated that character. Because I don't know about you, but I really couldn't care less about Loki in the comics.
Right.
Were you a fan of Loki in the comics?
Well, I was a fan of Loki before the comics because I was into all this mythology.
The actual Loki.
The actual Loki, the actual Thor, and all these, Odin and all these guys. So, but Tom Hiddleston actually portrayed him as the first person to play a Loki.
Yeah.
On the big screen, I think he did an excellent job.
Yeah, knocked it out of the park.
It's like, I mean, who do you replace Iron Man with?
Right.
Who do you replace T'Challa with? Who do you replace? Well, I was going to say who do you replace Steve Rogers with, but apparently
it's Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie.
Right.
So it's just some of these characters. They have these iconic actors, and it's like, so who do you replace after the fact? But,
and I think that Loki's character may have had the best character arc in the MCU.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think some people will, throw a flag on this because of the Tony Stark, sacrifice. But I think Loki, we saw 2 different extremes, right? Like Tony Stark was never the villain. Loki started off trying to kill the Avengers, trying to take over the planet Earth, and then even the beginning of Loki, the whole reason he ended up in the TVA is because he's stealing the Tesseract. Like, Loki was a motherfucker, dude.
Right.
I mean, how many times did he double cross his own brother?
Oh, dude, Loki's relationship with Thor is like Sabretooth's relationship with Wolverine. Sabretooth shows up once a year, beats Logan's ass, and just see you later, bro. Yep. Loki is like it's to the point where Thor expects him, and he said it in one of his movies. I think it was Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, yeah.
He's like, I expect you to double cross me.
Correct. Yep. And he went from that to making the ultimate sacrifice, like literally his life, to sit there and hold fucking green vines together. When
you put it like that.
Yeah. But I mean, right, he's just sitting there, right? He's been sitting there since he grabbed him. Yep. He can't get up to use the bathroom or anything. Nothing. He's just fucking sitting there.
Well, you can just, shit into the unknown, which is everything else other than the green vines he's holding.
Yeah, right? Just hopefully you're not living in that universe when he shits on that vine, But dude, I would argue that he's got the best character arc in the MCU. You didn't like Ray Fisher as Victor Stone, Cyborg?
No, not at all. I mean, I think it's more how they portrayed him.
Yeah.
It was too CGI-ish for me.
Oh, the look,
the proportions were off.
Yeah.
That was mostly it because Cyborg is, mostly the machine.
Yeah.
Right? No, I take that back. No, I just don't like him as that character.
Yeah. Kind of felt a little flat.
AI aside.
Yeah.
It was just wrong person.
It felt a little flat. It didn't have as much emotion. He just, he felt like he was just there. He didn't stand out in the movie, and I think Cyborg's one of those characters that could and should.
Right.
I mean, he's a cool ass
character.
He
was definitely. He's that guy that stands on the wall throughout, in the club and shit. I want to be here. He's the opposite of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Where she looks like she doesn't want to be there.
Right.
He actually wants to be there, but he doesn't look like he doesn't want to be there.
Gotcha.
He's just kind of here.
Tiana Paris is Monica Rambeau, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the look down, I really liked her as Monica. Mm-hmm. Emilia Clarke as Gaia.
Oh, my God. What a waste, dude. I mean, she went from Game of Thrones to that.
Yeah. And the character was just ridiculous.
Right.
We talked about this, when this show came out. All the power she just gets.
Where is she gonna show up?
Yeah,
anywhere
right
now with all of that shit, dude.
I mean, you're gonna need God Emperor Doom to take her out,
right? Because
she's got everybody's power, and she learned how to use them faster than all of them. So she's just like the genius, she's the top level genius.
I mean, she's. Imagine you got enough money to have planes, trains, automobiles, jets, all the cars, and you bring all of that shit all at once to a block party.
Right.
Dude, it's like, why are you even here, dude?
For real.
I mean, we can't even get the normal people in because of all your shit you got flying around.
Yeah.
Nah.
Benedict Wong, dude, I love him as Wong.
Yeah.
He's just a great all-around character. And it's funny that, this is just shit that stands out to me. So Benedict Cumberbatch is the guy who plays Stephen Strange, Doctor Strange. Now, his counterpart, Wong, his first name is also Benedict. Last name's Wong, and he plays a character named Wong. It's like it was meant to be, dude. Like, 2 Benedicts, 1 Wong, or 2 Wongs. But, yeah, I love, I don't know why. It's just
nothing wrong with 2 Wongs.
Nothing wrong with 2 Wongs, I guess not, or 2 Benedicts. I don't know. Who knows? But either way, that name concatenation going on over there. But
I'm so confused.
Yeah, I don't know. It just stands out to me, dude. But Doctor Strange 3 is a movie that we've not heard anything about, really. There's rumors here and there. We saw at the end of the first one, Strange, he's got the third eye, right, which usually means he's up to no good. Right. And Cleo, a character from the
Eye of Sadarek, I believe.
Something like that. Which kind of looks a little goofy, honestly, on screen. The CGI about it seems a little off, but I guess a third eye in your forehead's going to look weird regardless.
Well, I mean, it's better than the Cyclops eye for the Titans movie back in the day. The stop animation, claymation.
Right.
That was bad, but it was good for what it was.
Yeah. But one of the things they talked about in the Doctor Strange movie were incursions, which were we're definitely going to see in Secret Wars. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a Doctor Strange movie prior to Secret Wars to show where he's off to.
Don't you think they'd probably be announcing that already by
who
now?
The fuck knows, dude, with them. But anyways, moving on. That is Hit or Miss Cast. Let us know if you agree with Adrian's takes or not. And honestly, we don't really care. You'd be like that. How could you say he's a miss? Easy. Just go, he's a miss.
Right.
And as Adrian points out, very frequently, we have the right to change our mind, right? Moving on. We respond, Adrian. There's a lot of comments this past week. Actually, last week's episode is our most watched episode since we started doing this.
Nice.
Yep. So over 2,000 views between YouTube and Spotify. We hit 3,000 subscribers on YouTube this past week. So thanks, everybody. Welcome all you new subscribers.
Yep.
And we're going to respond to some of you new subscribers. So if you're brand new, this is new for you. A lot of, I don't know if there's another show that does this. Right. And if they do, they copied us. So Virtual Reality Fitness 283.
Okay.
Kang is more Avengers villain than Doom, is what he says. Kang is more Avengers villain than Doom. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Doom is more Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, definitely Fantastic Four over Avengers. But he's heavy Avengers maybe in some of the newer stories. But I'd agree with that.
Kang's like a global threat, so he's everybody's enemy,
right.
But definitely more Avengers than anything else than Doom.
L. Tobis 1 says, I feel like you guys need to endure the shit show films like Joker 2 so we all can share the same disappointing rage. I tell you what, when it's on streaming in like 2 weeks, I'll watch it. I'll give it a watch. Adrian's not going to watch it.
I'm not going to watch it.
No.
I've seen enough people get burnt by fire that I don't need to get burnt by it. Okay. So that's my opinion about this kind of stuff.
Well, El Tobes, I will take one for the team, and I will definitely check this out when it's on streaming. Buster Barnes says Batman can still be 35 to 38 and have a kid, and Bat-friendly doesn't have to be middle-aged. So James Gunn talked about, or there's a rumor that he was looking for a middle-aged Batman. Now, first of all, what's middle-age nowadays?
It is not 30 to 35 or 33 to 35. Middle age is basically my age.
50?
Yeah.
Okay. I think, years ago, middle age was definitely 35 when people only lived to like 60.
Or 35.
Or 35. Now, I guess what he's saying is because Batman becomes Batman in his 20s, right? And this DCU is rumored to have a Batman who is already established with the Bat family. He's going to introduce Damian Wayne, right? Batman finds out he has he's usually like 8 to 10 years old, depending on the story when he finds out. So, yeah, I could see, he could be 35 and have a 10-year-old.
Sure.
And been around long enough to have a Bat family established. So, yeah, Buster Barnes, I think you're onto something there, Buster.
If they're talking middle age, clearly they're not talking about middle age when it comes to people. I would assume middle age meaning middle age of Batman's run.
Yep.
20s, because he was active up until he was in his 50s.
Yeah.
Right? So middle age for that would be late 30s.
Right.
So
middle of the road.
I can go with that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, James Gunn said it. He denied it. He basically said that was bullshit when someone said. So I like that James will call bullshit. Miles Dixon 6397 says, "Hey, what's up, Mike and Adrian? Hey, what's up, Miles? I would love to see Adrian do a hidden gem on the Silver Surfer. He is one of my favorite Marvel characters, but I do not know much about him." It's a good suggestion, Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer.
I mean, you're a big Fantastic Four guy. Silver Surfer always feels very connected to the Fantastic Four.
I feel like I've done that before, though.
Did you?
Yeah.
Or was I think you did the female.
Yeah, Frankie Ray.
You did the Frankie Ray version. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can do the original. Add it to the list, dude. You got a growing list, dude. Charles Mon 877 says, "Enjoyed this podcast. Fresh take on things. New subscriber." Well, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
Charles. And actually, it's not even really a podcast. It's a show.
Yeah.
This is a show. Yeah. It's showtime, as they say. A. Josh Strickland. We know A. Josh. He comments a lot on here. He says, "So I think a good follow-up to this hidden gem would be Kushala. Imagine all those Ghost Riders as a Sorcerer Supreme. She's gnarly and spooky. I totally agree about Todd. You don't want to play nice with DC and rein in your bullshit. You can't expect anyone to like what you did." Anyways, love the show, guys. I've never heard of Kushala. Have you?
That name sounds familiar.
It's like a female version of, I guess, Ghost Rider.
No, I think I mentioned her
last week. Maybe.
Was she the Argentinian? Anyway, the name sounds familiar.
Okay.
So
there you go.
So but I don't know. Anyway, we can just
add them to the age, pick them out the hat. At this point, you might have to just pick one out the hat randomly, like 100. That's the thing. You all can keep them coming, but there's only 52 weeks in a year, so we can't get to all of them. Jonathan.
But that would kind of be like having a hidden gem on Deadpool, but then talking about all the variants of Deadpool, the Deadpool dog, Deadpool girl,
right?
The twisted sister. I mean,
you could do Deadpool variant hidden gems for 2 years straight. If now until the sequel comes out at that point,
until I'm 90.
Yeah, we're gonna get you doing this till you're 90, Adrian. Right? Jonathan Alvera N2J says, "Great pod." A lot of people say the pod. Welcome to the pod. Love the jokes and sarcasm. We do too, in case you couldn't tell. But he gets it. See?
Right.
Some people get upset because they're like, I can't believe you say that. Dude, it's a fucking joke. You've said this.
And we're talking about things that don't exist.
Exactly. Dudes made these characters up when they were fucking bored at home.
All right.
And they made all these stories, and we all just agreed to follow the stories. They're made up. Of course we're going to come here and say crazy shit. Have you seen half of the shit that happens in the comics?
Right.
Anyways, but Jonathan here, he gets it.
Yeah.
So great pod. All right. Love the joke, sarcasm. Got tuned in late to y'all's pod, but won't miss a show now. You should never miss a show. Look forward to it every Monday. And this is why I quoted him here. He is hashtag make Mondays great again.
There you go.
That's our mission now, Adrian.
There we go.
You accept the mission?
I accept the mission.
We're going to continue to make Mondays great again.
Despite where the phrase came from.
Yeah, we're not, because they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people who live here. God. They could be doing that. I don't know.
They could be.
Whatever.
Or not.
Maybe not. But anyways, Yancy Vasquez says, only comics never disappoints. I couldn't agree more. You agree with that? It's saying agree to disagree.
I agree.
Roman Williams says, thanks for the shout out. He was the Blue Marvel hidden gem request. I couldn't remember who did it. It was Broman Williams. So good job, Broman
Williams?
Yeah. Your tease is Broman going to be excited today? Possibly. He's got to stay tuned to find out.
He's got to stay tuned.
All right, stay tuned, bro, man.
Wait a minute. We just did the bullshit that we always calling everybody else on, all right?
My hypocrisy knows no bounds, Adrian.
Okay, bro, man, your shit's going to be in the hidden gems today.
Oh, look at that. Adrian's a man of his word. Look at that, dude. You don't want to be like your peers here.
Right.
You know?
It's like, come on, man. Just spit it out or...
All right, well, there you have it.
Shit or get off the pot, as they say.
Well, you just shit, Adrian. Let this man cook. He's about to cook later, so yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah,
I like
that one better. Let this man shit. It doesn't have the same feel to it. So, bro, man, stay tuned. Blue Marvel, possibly, maybe later. I don't know. He said he was going to complain that you guys don't actually respond. Then I heard my name mentioned while at work. Yeah, dude, we get people through work, get people through Mondays. Found you guys on TikTok. Has been hooked forever. Just two. Here, he just sums it up. Just two dudes chilling, talking about comics.
There you go.
That's what we're doing.
That's it.
Just two dudes chilling.
That's it.
Anthony Carlson says, great podcast. Well, yeah, I agree. Dude, a few weeks ago, I was talking about Jason Todd, and you didn't even catch this. I didn't catch this till after I was editing. I was calling him James Todd.
Really?
Yeah, who's LL Cool J, LL.
Right.
So we weren't talking about James Todd.
No.
But Hung Solo says, we've heard from Hung Solo in the past. No Diddy. Mike saying James Todd instead of Jason Todd really hurt my feelings, and now I'm going to go complain about it, laughing my fucking ass off. Another great episode, but get the characters' names right. Also, how does someone get a guest spot? Asking for a friend. I will promise you this, Hung Solo, that will not be the last time that I screw up someone's name on this
Absolutely.
podcast. I probably did it today already.
Right.
But,
characters' names, directors' names. We're all over the place.
Who knows?
But you know who we talking about.
Exactly. You know exactly what I meant.
Yep.
But he's having fun. He's talking shit. Well, I can appreciate this.
Absolutely.
As a shit talker, I appreciate another shit talker.
Absolutely.
And he's not soft, So Hung Solo, my man. How does someone get a guest spot? Dude, there's really no rule. It's like we've only had people that we know personally.
Right.
And then we had my man Batman from Spring Hill, because honestly, I'm just a huge fan of what he does.
Right.
So, but hey, reach out. You never know. It's got to be someone I'm interested in. Put it that way. Jay Muniz on TikTok says, don't subscribe. He makes his buddy angry with everything. Guy thought Bane and Dark Knight were amazing. Now he doesn't like it because dude with the hat. He's telling people not to subscribe to us. I think y'all should subscribe to us just because Jay Muniz said that.
Okay, so we're both wearing hats. I'm stuck on the hat.
I don't know.
Which ones? Whatever.
I think he's talking about me. He thinks I make you angry with everything. You're not angry right now. Well, actually, now you're probably getting angry. The claws coming out?
No, not at all.
So, Jay Muniz, here's what I have to say to you. Don't watch our shit. Shut the fuck up. Keep it moving. And everyone else, please subscribe in honor of Jay Muniz's dumbass.
Right.
You went out of your way to comment to tell people to not subscribe. Just don't watch your shit.
That's it.
Dude,
simple.
I do not like country music, right? I've shared this with you.
Yes.
Are you a fan of country music? Some?
Well, a fan of country music is a little...
Okay, you like some country
I like some country music, yes.
I don't like much country music.
Right.
But here's what I don't do. I don't go on YouTube and find country music videos and then go in the comments and go, don't listen to this. It's because somebody likes it.
Right.
So, Jay Muniz, there's a lot of people here that like what we do.
Right.
If you don't, you can do two things. Nothing or like it. Because we ain't going to change.
There you go.
Toalua, 28. DC owns Joker, not Marvel, so that Marvel focus group wouldn't have done anything for Joker 2. Okay, Toalua, if fucking Tom Hardy can say he wants to fight Batman as Venom, we could be in the Marvel focus group and help out with DC movies too, okay? It's just the way this shit works, Toa.
That's right.
Jesus.
That's it.
Anyways, Claire Delaney, 63.
Are your claws going to come? Or your sword?
My sword? No,
Yep.
You know what? No, not today. Not yet.
Not in the Venom suit, but...
No, not in the Venom suit. Well, Claire Delaney over here, Claire's trying to make the claws come out. Chris Nolan's Batman movies were amazing. So I think it's time that we set the record straight here, Adrian, okay? So This is what I'd say about Christopher, because he has 3 movies. First of all, The Dark Knight was amazing. Okay, Batman Begins was good, really good. I won't say amazing. And The Dark Knight Rises was mid at best. Okay. You throw a flag on any of that? Is any of that out of pocket, as they say? Okay. So, Claire Delaney, The Dark Knight was amazing, and the other 2 movies were good to mid. So, they were not amazing. Not as a whole. I can't say that as a whole. But that's just me and just you. So, Claire, you're wrong. But that's okay. Like, subscribe, and come along for the ride with us.
But that's her opinion, though. So
I Claire, told you I'm a hypocrite, Adrian.
Your opinion that the movies were amazing is amazing.
It is amazing.
That's because they completed your opinion, and I agree at times that they are amazing, but not all the time.
Okay. Your opinion is amazingly wrong. Tag Tramer 32. I probably screwed that name up, but Tag knows who I'm talking to.
Right.
The Batman is not a typical comic book movie. The Batman was a graphic novel movie and one of my favorites of the decade. Tag's a smart man here. The Batman, but to what he's saying, it was not a typical comic book movie. I definitely agree with that. And he says it was a graphic novel movie, which I think he just means, it's maybe the way the story's told throughout. And I do feel like that. Like it feels like, I know they pull from The Long Halloween a lot for that movie, just like every Batman movie seems to pull from Long Halloween. Right. But I feel like it gives you that feel of when you're reading a graphic novel, 10, 11, 12 chapters or whatever, this long story drawn out, but then it doesn't feel that long because you get so immersed in it. That's how I felt with this movie. I agree with what he's saying.
Sure. I think what they're finding out in movies is that the audience likes the comic book. Yeah. I think when they came out with these movies, they didn't know what to do with them. Yeah. And all the moves were lukewarm. And they built up into the Batman. They built up into the Punisher and Deadpool and Wolverine. Yep. So they built up into what comics were all along. Yeah. Now, so imagine if they would have just came out the gate 20 years ago when they started doing this stuff, duplicating the comic, right? Graphics and all that kind of stuff. We would be in a whole different thing right now. Yeah. So the movies that they're coming out with are more grounded, and by grounded I mean more in line with the things that we know and love about the comics. Yeah. So I think that's the arc that we're in now. So I think we're going to see a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, because you think about the early comic movies, they felt like they were taking comic characters and trying to fit them in traditional Hollywood type of movies. And then they felt cheesy. Right. And I agree that these do feel like the Batman, almost everything we see in the Batman comes from a Batman story in the comics. Not that it's not original, but they're following stories and beats that have hit in the comics for so many years. And just tying into this movie, to your point, it's like they're not reinventing the wheel. Right. The story's there. We say this all the time. Do you have, damn near 100 years of comics? Right. I mean, Batman just turned 85 this past year. You have 85 years of stories to pull from. Right. And then you get things like Secret Invasion or fucking Echo, or the Joker 2. When you have 85 fucking years of content to pull from, right, but you got to be special and make something new.
And 85 years assume that you go linearly, right? But with all the variants, you got 1,000 Earths, right? You got multiverses. Yep. I mean, you probably got 3,000 or 4,000 years of comic content to pull from.
That's true, because back in the day, it was like you had the Batman, the main Batman line, right? And now, dude, there's probably 3 or 4 or 5 different Batman comics going on at one time, right? So, yeah, it's, as you would say, deep and wide.
And then you got the WB versions of things versus the Netflix versions of things versus it gets crazy, dude.
Yep. Nun3517 says, that's where DC messed up, trying to make movies like Marvel for kids when DC is for grown-ups.
Absolutely.
I definitely... I've said this before about their comics, too. They're darker than Marvel comics, especially Batman. And most of Batman shit is not for kids. No. You know, so like, well, they're indoctrinating the kids. We're not even fucking making it for the kids. So there's that. Smooth Johnny Spade. I think you're going to like Smooth Johnny Spade, Adrian. He says, the show is very underrated. Talking about us. I'm a 46-year-old girl dad who's loving your guys' takes. Thank you, fellas. Well, Smooth Johnny Spade, you're welcome and thank you.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're here for, to improve people's mental health, state of being, entertain them.
Right. As
my man said earlier, make Mondays great again. We're going to make every day of the week great again. You know, that's our goal here.
Whenever and however you find us.
Absolutely. D. Ray White says, Penguin carrying DC on its back right now. You damn right, dude.
Damn right.
That's why he's got that fucking leg problem, dude. He's like tired of carrying, you know. Infamous KO4. He's got some smiley laughing faces. He says, you know what? Maybe Penguin doesn't get respect in Batman comics because B-level is crazy take to me. Because we said he's more like a B, C-level character. Right. And I think half the people kind of got a little, you know, offended at that. But okay. I would say in Batman's obviously a character, right? A-list. Joker's A-list. Is there other villains that you'd put on that A-list level? Joker? Catwoman?
She's not really a villain. She's like an anti-hero more. We don't see him a lot, but...
Two-Face?
Well, Two-Face.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze is more BC.
Yeah.
The Riddler, I would put probably AB-ish.
AB-ish, okay.
That's it.
Yeah. Deathstroke, maybe. Ra's al Ghul, I put.
Ra's al Ghul is definitely A.
Yeah. And it's no knock on Penguin.
Deathstroke, probably AB-ish.
AB, yeah.
But he's just not out there as much.
Right, you know? Right. Yeah, and I don't think that's not a knock on Penguin. I'm just saying from, you know, when you look at it, he's not the first one that pops to mind. You go Joker.
Right.
You know. Nikki Acole1 says, 2 words, Poison Ivy. So we were talking about Matt Reeves, and as I said last week, let this man cook.
Right.
And then we talked about, you said you'd love to see him bring Mr. Freeze on screen, which I think would be very cool in this grounded universe. You know, Poison Ivy is another one that I think we need to see on screen.
Yeah. Taylor Swift, dude. I'm telling you, I'm in an airport and I see a cover.
Yeah.
And I see Taylor Swift, and I'm not a what do you call him?
You're not Swiftie, no.
I see Taylor Swift in this green dress, outfit, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And immediately my mind went to Poison Ivy.
Wow.
So I'm just saying, and I agree. I would love to see Poison Ivy because if they can do this with Penguin,
yeah,
and Poison Ivy is bad.
She is.
I mean, not like, you know, like a bad character, but she's just awesome.
Yeah,
you know, with her powers and all the things that she does.
Yep. And that's something you can do in a grounded universe with the plants. Like, absolutely. I mean, you don't necessarily need plants to be, you know, growing everywhere, but with her poisons, all these little potions and shit, and putting people under your spell, like, I think this would really fit this Batman universe.
Right.
I'm not with you on the Taylor Swift one. But,
that's okay. You don't have to be.
Yeah, you're not going to be upset.
I'm not butthurt.
Are you typing about me on TikTok right now?
No, not at all.
Fuck these guys. They suck. They know nothing. The one with the hat. I love that. Like the one. Like, what are you watching? There's 2 with hats.
Right.
It'd be like the bald one.
Yeah.
Oh. Yo, someone commented a few weeks ago, and they're like, Why have you been interviewing this same guy every week? Like, I'm not interviewing him. It's like we do the podcast together. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Wow.
Yeah, but they thought it was just like a long interview or something.
Hey.
You know, Adrian's got a lot to talk about, so we're saying, I'll just keep interviewing him. Maybe we'll call the podcast that, you know, interviewing Adrian.
There you go.
All right, moving on. That's We Respond. How do you get on We Respond? You just comment and you say something cool or something stupid. You never know. You just never know. It's like comment roulette in a way. Maybe we'll call that comment roulette.
I like that.
Fucking made it up.
Dude,
this is just.
You're sweating over there, man.
Easy,
it's like,
dude.
wow.
It's like, I'm sitting back drinking coladas and do this, you know? Shout out, you know, a little quench my thirst over there. Got to stay hydrated.
There you go.
If we were sponsored by like a water company, we'd shout them out. But we're sponsored by nobody. Actually, just ourselves.
Yep.
You know. So, Agatha, episode 6, "Familiar by Thy Side" is what it was called. Now, you told me earlier you fell asleep. Fell asleep watching this one.
Yep.
So you caught up with the one you fell asleep last week watching.
Dude, I don't remember. No, actually, I didn't see this one.
Okay.
I fell asleep on the last one.
Got it.
5, I fell asleep on.
Okay.
Because I was trying to catch up.
Got
and
it.
Just didn't make it.
Okay. I will say 5, I think, so far is the best episode.
Really?
6 it was good. 6 is where we're at that point. Remember that point in WandaVision where you realize, like, oh, this was a show. There's a lot of, like, shit actually going on behind the scenes. And you kind of, it's almost like you awaken, right? Like, to quote one of your movies, it's like when you find out that you've been in the Matrix the whole time, right? So we're at that point in Agatha. So a little soft spoiler there for you. In the next episode that you didn't even get to yet, you're going to find out who this kid is. Mm-hmm. Well, we talked about it last week. He's Wanda's son, but you're going to find out why Wanda's son is in this kid's body and not the little kid that we saw in WandaVision.
Right.
You're going to find out who put the spell on him. Mm-hmm. You're going to find out what he's looking for in the road. So it really sets up these next few episodes. This episode was short. I will warn you, Adrian, if you're like some of our fans out there and if you're afraid that seeing anything gay on screen is going to turn you gay, don't watch this episode. Now, I can tell you this. I saw it. Mm-hmm. There's gayness in it. Right. And I didn't turn gay, so.
Well, but, I mean, don't define it, but, you know, you got to define what's gay, what you're looking at. Yeah. Because, somebody calling your roommate my girl.
Right. No, this was actual guy kissing a guy, okay, because teen's gay. So, but like I said, I saw it and I didn't turn gay, so I think we're all safe. So, contrary to popular belief, nothing's going to happen.
Wow.
Yeah, but it does give you a lot of backstory, and one of the characters from WandaVision shows up. The guy who played Agatha's husband, Ralph Boner, if you remember that guy, who actually was the Quicksilver from the X-Men universe, he shows back up, and you see the effects of him being under Agatha's spell. So this is kind of where some things get real. It's not all fun and games anymore. Sure. So I mean, definitely got me intrigued, dude. I've been surprised by this show. I almost fell off, for a minute, but it's got me hooked back in.
But you see what just happened there? You just told me stuff that I've never seen in 2 whole episodes. Yeah. And I'm not shocked and hurt that you're revealing things that I've seen.
You're not upset?
Because I don't care about the movie.
Right.
So, but I will do my due diligence this week. It might actually get to someplace interesting because, I mean, you just never know.
Yeah. I think it will. I mean, I don't think it'll be your favorite show, but if I like to predict things here, Adrian, I think you appreciate these episodes over the past few. Okay. Moving on to something better. Penguin, episode 4. Centani, I believe is how you say this. I don't know what it means.
It sounds like the name of a wine.
It does.
And maybe it's the dinner scene
maybe
that they're basing this off of.
Yep, you could be right. So, any of you wine enthusiasts out there, let us know. Is Centani a name of wine? It does sound like one. Maybe we should drink wine during this, Probably not.
Probably not.
Good. In this episode, we find out all the details about the Hangman, Sophia. We find out some shit, dude, about her dad. Holy. I said Thanos may be the worst dad in the universe, but I don't know, man. Carmine Falcone.
Right.
He ain't getting no Father's Day present.
Not at all, dude. I mean, he just went. It was this show, this episode. I can understand why they say it's the best episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was some amazing stuff going on in there. Yep. Sophia just knocked that out of the park, man. Dude. I mean, all of it. Mm-hmm. I think that crazy chick in the prison too was kind of she was kind of up there too before Sophia bashed her brains out.
Who actually I think is the character Magpie from the comics.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah,
right, yep.
I don't know much about it. I've heard the name and seen her in some shit, but I think the one you're talking about is actually Magpie.
Right.
We see the flashback and realize that basically Falcone, Carmine, is Hangman. Mm-hmm. He's killing all these girls. Right. They're from the club. And these are the subtle ties to the Batman. Mm-hmm. So if you remember in the Batman...
Hold on. I think in order to set this up, I think you got to go back to why she was having a flashback. it opens with the kid slamming them into the car and then she realizes that Penguin is double crossing her.
Right.
In that very moment,
yes,
he's trying to lie him his way out of getting shot, basically, by this rival gang.
Correct.
And she's looking at him, spits flying and everything, and then she has this flashback.
True. Yeah, and she's running, and she has like a panic attack in the alley, and she calls her therapist.
Right.
And then we see the whole flashback of her finding out about her mother, because her mother believed to have hung herself.
Right. For depression.
Yeah.
Which apparently that was also a setup, right? Yep. Not only did he kill his wife, but he set this whole tone of, and it's almost like that's how they get rid of the women, right? In this thing, they set a tone where, and you could legally do that back in the day. The husband, if he didn't want you, he can, instead of divorcing you, he can just have you committed to an asylum.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
So they set up this whole thing where the women have these mental issues, and then they decide when and if they want to get rid of you, which is apparently what they did.
Right. Or back in the day, they'd bring you to, get the shock therapy. Look what she had here. They're going to fix you, right?
Right.
Bring my wife's not right in the head here. Have her fixed for me.
Yeah, you'll be fixed all right after the fact.
For real. Which we see here. They basically turn her crazy. They turn her insane. But to talk about the tie with the Batman, this is the stuff I really like about this show. If you remember in the Batman, Selena is tracking down Carmine, and she basically is alluding to the fact that he may be her father, right? She asked him about her mother, who was strangled. Her mother was killed by Falcone. Right. We see Falcone attempting to strangle Selena in this, and we hear him on tape killing her friend. The one that made everybody gay, that one.
Right.
Annika, I think her name was. So he's got a history of this.
Right.
So it's like, even though the Batman's not in this, Falcone's in this, and that story, consistency, continuity.
Right.
The little things, which sometimes the little things make a big difference.
Absolutely.
And these little subtle ties is why I don't feel like this is a Batman show without Batman. I don't. I feel like it takes place in this universe. It's just not on Batman's radar yet.
Right.
One thing I will say, the only critique about this episode for me is I prefer John Turturro as Falcone over Mark Strong. He wasn't bad. I just like John Turturro. It's just more a preference. I like his portrayal more. It didn't bother you?
No, that role was benign.
Okay.
It wouldn't have mattered to me either way.
Gotcha. I definitely prefer him over. So everyone's like, you a few weeks ago, you guys are throwing shade at him. I'm not throwing shade. I actually would prefer that he was back. I'm actually just mad that he's not there. That's why I'm saying these mean and cruel things,
Absolutely. You dog killer, you.
Yeah. They're eating the dogs. Sophia talks to a reporter, and that's basically what sets Carmine over the edge.
Right.
And dude, how quick he was to just pin this on his daughter,
right, and
have the whole family bought in. It just made that ending that much more satisfying.
Yeah, but that's the thing that Sophia was always blaming Penguin, blaming on Penguin, because Penguin told him. He didn't just find out on his own.
Right.
Penguin went and told on her.
Right.
And like he said, I knew he was going to do something, but I didn't know he was going to do that.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, Penguin was her driver,
right?
So he's privy to all this stuff, and this episode really solidifies the fact that you should not be rooting for Penguin.
No,
he's not a good guy,
not at all.
He may be entertaining, but there's really no redeeming qualities about this dude.
Yeah,
he's a backstabbing motherfucker, and he's probably going to turn on Victor at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
He threw Sophia under the bus to her own dad,
right?
And he didn't think he would react this way, but you obviously didn't think he'd be happy about it either.
Right.
It really makes you feel for Sophia in this.
Yeah, definitely.
She's the closest thing to a good guy we have in this show right now.
Yeah, so far, even though good guys don't execute that house killing the way she did, dude. That was perfection.
It was.
It was perfection. She she saved the girl, killed everybody else except, you notice at the except for that one guy.
Yep.
Specifically.
Yeah.
That's some madness right there.
Right. Well, before we get there, how she even got to that point, she's committed. She thinks she's getting out in 6 months, right? And then when Alberto goes and breaks the news to her, she has a fucking meltdown. Right. They usher him out of there. I mean, some, traumatic shit, right?
Right.
And
I mean, she hears that, and then she just gets up and just like mindlessly walks out.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm done. There's no reason to even continue this conversation anymore.
Right.
And then she goes and smashes Magpie's brain out.
Yes. Yeah, they turn her crazy,
right?
Basically,
exactly.
And finally, she's like, you know what? If they're gonna treat me like I'm crazy, I'm gonna play the fucking role,
right? And they tried to set her up with the tall, lanky girl who beat her ass, right? And then they set it up like a WWE or something, right?
Yep.
Gave her a fork, and the girl took it away from her and eventually killed herself. But it was like they were going to make it seem like she was so over the edge that then she killed an inmate. Right. Basically.
Yep.
Yeah. So that didn't go well.
No. And then the doctor, Julian Rush, ended up quitting because he realized that she was innocent and probably just felt guilty for the role he played or whatnot.
Right. But Sophia blamed him even for that because she was like, "Well, you left me there."
Correct. Basically. Yeah, you just didn't want to deal with it.
Right.
Like
he's thinking, I just need to get out of here because I can't deal with this cruelty. And she's thinking the only person that I maybe even think cares about me has left me in this shithole.
Right. Right. And Sophia also finds out that Penguin killed her brother in this.
Dude, the way when she opened that trunk and she saw her brother, the way she went off, that reminded me of Al Pacino in Scarface when his daughter got killed.
Yep.
He just lost it. His sister. No, his daughter. Al Pacino's daughter. They were getting ready to go into a theater. And the donkey guy that made all the donkey sounds, that was the signal for the guys to do the drive-by.
Yeah.
And instead of getting him, because it was him, it was Al Pacino, his wife, and their daughter, who was in love with his nephew, who was going to take over the family. And he told them that he couldn't take over the family if he was messing with his daughter. So they did the drive-by.
Godfather.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Godfather, Scarface, whatever. Casino, whatever.
One of them.
I'm
like, wait, what? This ain't Scarface, but anyway. I'm with you now. Yes.
So when the bullet actually hit his daughter, he just lost it.
Yeah.
And that was his like exit out of the movie, pretty much, because he was just so traumatized. He just died an old dude,
Right.
But when Sophia saw her brother, that reminded me of that scene.
Okay.
She just went off, and then she put her trust in this dude that's right next to her, and he's lying. He's trying to lie his way out of this scene that's about to happen, and she realizes that this dude not only, but I mean, for the other chick to just come out and say that, she could have just waited until they got the deal and got something else out of it. I mean, that's
open your big fucking
that's where
mouth.
The math to me doesn't kind of work out.
Yep.
But I mean, I would have just stood back, let him make the deal, and then come after him independently, keep that over his head for some real future reason, and outside of just you try to double cross us.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
But it made for good theatrics.
Oh, absolutely, dude. And the climax of this episode, dude, top tier. One of the best endings to an episode. Dude, this episode of The Penguin is one of the highest rated episodes in any show on IMDb right now. 9.5 is what they've given it.
Wow.
So this show has now, it's moved past comic book show.
Sure.
It's moved past Batman show. It's just a really good HBO Max show right now.
I think probably by the end of next year, 25, they won't be making comments like comic book movies aren't on real movies anymore.
No, not at all. But this end scene, and do everything from the way and this is like attention at small things. Everything's kind of dull and muted except for Sophia's yellow dress.
Right.
It pops throughout the entire time. And it almost gives you like a Kill Bill feel in a way. Like the yellow, I don't know if there's any
correlation.
Maybe, the yellow, remember she wears the yellow suit in a lot of Kill Bill, and she's been double crossed, fucked over, and now she's getting revenge. Sophia's kind of on the Sophia Falcone revenge tour, The minute she pulled the little girl into the barn, I knew like, oh shit.
greenhouse.
The greenhouse.
Yep.
It's about to go down.
Right. I thought it was going to be something more like mob-like.
Yeah.
You know, like somebody, like a hit team was going to come in and like kill everybody. But the way she did it, but see, that's a guy way of doing things.
Sure.
You know, typically when they talk about like how men and women off themselves, guys go out violently because the whole macho thing, and women like some kind of poison or something subtle. But so
you thought, it's funny, you thought violence. I thought she was going to set the house on fire. I thought she was
that would have given an opportunity to get out some kind of way.
Or blow it up or something.
Right.
I thought it was going to be some explosion or some shit. You know?
Something definitely manly and brutal.
Yeah.
I thought. But the way she did it, and excellent execution, too.
Oh, my God. That was the best. She's walking back in the house.
Right.
She puts the mask on, and room by room, they're all dead.
Right.
And then she gets up to VD's room, and he's the only one left because she's going to use him.
Right.
Dude, as you said this, you know, about the Robert Downey Jr. move, I say this about her master chess moves.
Yep.
Phenomenal. And it just proves to show that, you know, at the end of the day, she's a Falcone.
Right.
She's got that in her.
Right.
You know, she's a fucking savage. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait to watch the next episode tonight.
And I think throughout history, that's how a lot of people came to power, including in family things. They just murdered people off, dude.
Yep.
You know, sons, fathers.
Oh, yeah.
Taking out fathers and all kinds of stuff, dude.
Yep. Absolutely. So,
but definitely a masterfully directed and executed and acted movie.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that is the Penguin deep dive, if you will, or Toad dip, whatever you want to call it, or Penguin discussion. Moving on, Adrian, we're getting to the we're getting to the end of the road here. A couple more segments. We have Hidden Gem. Now, who's on Hidden Gem this week, Adrian? Who could it possibly be?
All right, so I heard this name when I first heard it. Right, I was thinking, well, you already know who it is because I told you earlier.
Yep.
But so I heard Blue Marvel, and the first thing I thought about was the Blue Lanterns, right? And I'm like, Blue Marvel. So I looked it up right quick. Never heard of this character myself, dude. I'm thinking that this is probably now. The other hidden gems, you know, we've covered in the past have been people that you've seen on the big screen somewhere, or except for Franklin Richards for you, right?
Right.
It's been somebody that I at least have heard of. This character I've never heard of before. And let me just get into this guy, right? So Blue Marvel is his name is Adam Brashear. So, and I not only is I'm so excited about this character, I can't even talk. Not only is the character an exciting and powerful character, but the person that created him, and I'll get to that later. And then there's so many cross connects to him. And let me just get into it. Woo!
You're so excited you can't contain yourself, dude.
So Adam Brashear, he was a fullback in Cornell University, veteran of the Korean War. So this character was created in '62. No, that's when the actual writer was born. Anyway, the guy was created back in the Kennedy days, right? So Marine Corps, 2 Silver Stars. He met this guy. It's almost like a Reed Richards, Victor Von Doom kind of relationship where they meet at some point and then they're kind of friends or they're friends and then they become arch enemies later. So he meets this guy, Connor Sims, who would later become the Anti-Man, right? He becomes project lead. This is Brashear, Blue Marvel. He becomes project lead as a science attempt to harness antimatter, which is basically, and you hear talk about that. And basically what it is that there's a opposite universe in which if you can bridge the gap safely, you can extract energy. As a matter of fact, there was a Star Trek episode about this, Star Trek The Next Generation episode about if you go into this universe, you can extract energy out of it, pure, clean, unending energy. But in the Star Trek episode, I'm just all over the place. Yeah. In the Star Trek episode, what was happening was the entities there were being murdered. So for the energy that they were taking out, they were murdering like millions and billions of these entities that lived in this universe.
Okay.
So anyway,
almost like in the Marvels where they're stealing resources from one planet, bringing it to the other, and they're killing off that planet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So, so he creates a reactor that would allow them to tap into this antimatter universe for this energy, but something happened, kind of like the Bruce Banner thing. There was an explosion, and Bashir and Sims, his buddy, gets caught up in this stuff. Well, Sims, his body gets completely. Is when your body becomes nothing. You just he becomes pure energy, right?
Yeah.
Where Bashir, he maintains his form, but he gets all these powers, right? All these antimatter powers. So he becomes this superhero in the 60s, Blue Marvel. He does all these things. And in 62, he receives, it wasn't 62. He receives the Presidential Medal of Honor from President Kennedy, right? But at the same time he gets this medal, he's also asked to stand down.
Okay.
Because the Blue Marvel had this suit that covered his whole body, right? So nobody could tell that he was black. But because he was a black superhero.
Yeah.
And what happened was he was in a fight with somebody, the helmet got cracked open and people saw that he was black. Shit. So now it's like, dude, you can't be this.
Can't be anymore.
Right. You can't be this.
Wait, if I watch him, will I turn black? Is that how it works too? Or? You never know.
You never know. You just never know, dude.
You never know.
So, but it's funny that they asked him to step down, but then they give him a mission.
Yeah.
To end this alien invasion threat, which he does, right? Because he's so powerful, and we get to that. But then after that, they ask him to step down again. Well, the alien invasion that he prevented, there was some other aliens that came later. He just happened to be on the moon talking to Ua, the Watcher. I'm sure I'm screwing that up. Let's call him the Watcher.
Yeah, it's easier to say.
Right. Whatever, the Watcher. So he sees this and he then stops that. Then as part of that mission, the government decides, so in other words, we love your power set, but we can't get over the fact that you're black.
Yep.
So we're going to retire you. No, we're not going to retire you now. We're going to fake your death.
Oh, damn.
Not only are we going to fake your death, but we're going to give you a ankle bracelet in the form of a agent, right? That's assigned to monitor him, who falls in love with him, and they get married and have kids.
Perfect.
Right? So it is bad when what you can do is so good. We want to use you, but we don't want to let people know that we use you. Mm-hmm. Then when we're done using you, we're just going to put you somewhere in the corner. But we're not just going to put you in the corner because we don't trust you. So We're going to watch you in the process. Yeah. Anyway, that whole 60 things. And Kevin Graveau is the guy who created this character. He wanted to see what a black Superman like personality, how it would work in the 60s.
Yeah.
And that was the result. And I get to the
He was created in the 60s, you said?
He was created in the 60s era.
Got it.
And I get to the person that created him too, which is also a whole different spin on this, right? So that's his little run. So he retires as the Blue Marvel. He's of course a genius level intellect.
Of course.
So he does all these things, and apparently he and the Watcher becomes, best buds. Mm-hmm. He goes to the moon, chats with the Watcher. Blue Marvel, he creates this science lab in like the Marianas Trench, somewhere deep, where there's only two people that knows about it. And this is the part where it starts popping around, right?
Yeah.
So the only two people that know about this lab is Namor, because it's so deep in the ocean, and the Watcher. And the Watcher would come visit him. Matter of fact, he and the Watcher become such friends that he Bashir, the Blue Marvel, becomes the godfather of the Watcher and his woman's children.
Yeah.
So which is kind of weird where you got like an Earth person becoming the godfather of a fucking immortal super entity. But anyway, best buds.
Right.
So at some point, he's studying this Infinite, right? Or some being called Infinite. And the Infinite is like the Celestials. They kind of like, they're massive. Mm-hmm. And if they're allowed to grow, right, they'll destroy the planet. So you have that kind of a tie-in. Now, the Blue Marvel, Bashir, is written in the comics that he's the first one to discover the negative zone. Remember, Reed and the Thing and Storm had to go, I think, to the negative zone in order to get this power rod to come back and stabilize Sue because what's the kid? Franklin was killing Sue
when she was pregnant.
Yeah. Right. So they had to go to the negative zone to get this, which is where they met this guy, this demon looking dude, that was like the ruler of the negative zone. But apparently, this guy was the first one to go to that place, even before Reed. Blue Marvel was. Okay. Right. So now he's also not Candace, but at some point he during his powers, right? He was able to stabilize. So his interaction with Monica Rambeau, right, who has had many names apparently. They couldn't decide where they wanted to put her. Another superpowered person that they don't know what to do with.
Right.
But he was able to stabilize her powers and even enhance them. So that's also part of his power set, right? So who else? Oh, so we're just going to get to the powers and abilities. So basically, ability to absorb energy from matter, antimatter, annihilation. So super strength. As I'm reading this, I'm having mixed emotions. At the end, I find out that the person who created this character is a black writer.
Okay.
And his name is the Kevin Graveau.
Yeah.
But he also co-created and wrote the movie franchise Underworld.
Okay.
He also starred in Underworld. He's the big black dude, the werewolf.
Yeah.
Rays. That's him.
No shit.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. This thing is all over the place.
He's in The Mask too. He's in Planet of the Apes remake. No shit.
Yep. He's had what is it? 188. He's had 188 subjects that he's created. A lot of alternate Earth things, right? And 37 works of his own that he wrote. So he's all over the place too.
Dude, he's in like a bunch of comic. He's in Batman Forever.
Yep.
Now he plays one of Two-Face thugs.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Men in Black 2.
Yep.
He's also in Hulk as an uncredited, so
right.
In Deadpool's like, yo, let the extras scram. He was an extra.
Right. Yeah.
But he's in a lot of shit, dude.
He was in Star Trek.
No shit. The Batman. He was in he voiced Solomon Grundy in an animated series. This dude's all over comics.
Exactly.
And he created Blue Marvel. That's cool.
Yep.
Oh shit.
So I was kind of like I think that when he created this character, he was playing it safe because again, you created this Superman class person, in the 60s era.
Yeah.
Now this is something that he said. He said, regardless of the Blue Marvel's power level, as long as I'm writing the character, he won't be so strong that he makes other characters look foolish. He is just in the same league as the Hulk, Thor, Superman, Sentry, Orion, John, etc. He's not above them. Now, here's the contradiction. The Hulk, we know that Superman is like real crazy strong, right? Yeah. But the Hulk, he starts out at 100-ton class. Thor is 70, depending on which Thor you're looking at. But the basic Thor is like the 70-ton class, right? Sentry is basically the Marvel version of Superman. Now, when it comes to strength, I will put this guy on the level of definitely Superman.
Okay.
Like the irradiated Superman. So when you talk tonnage, the Hulk, the 100 tons, Thor, 70 tons, this dude is so strong. He's routinely, which means that he's done it more than once. He will pick up and fly with a aircraft carrier.
Shit.
Now, an aircraft carrier is not 100 tons.
Okay.
An aircraft carrier, fully loaded, is 100,000 tons.
Damn.
He didn't just bench press it.
Yeah.
He flew with it. Here's the other contradiction. He can reach escape velocity. We don't know if he can do light speed. Dude, if you can lift and fly with an aircraft carrier, you can most certainly fly faster than 3 times the speed of sound or whatever the escape velocity is, right? So throughout all of this, so all these things, he can create energy. He can, Monica Rambeau, he can almost do like molecular surgery, which is what he had to do in order to fix Monica Rambeau.
Yeah.
Not only did he fix her, he enhanced her powers, right? He can... this antimatter, he can project it in any form that he want to. I mean, he's so durable. He could a nuke went off in his hands. It didn't even phase him. This dude is beyond, right? He beat all the Avengers' ass, and the only reason that who was it? Orion. It was some character that they say beat him. But this is like he's already defeated the entire Avengers. The dude's tired.
Yeah.
Right? And now it's like when they say somebody beat Batman. Well, the dude's been time traveling, jumping all over the place. You got him at his worst point, and you sucker punched him. Right. So he has the ability to beat the Hulk, Sentry, the Thor. I mean, all of these people, and but he's on par with them. So that's why I say that this person is nerfed, because they'll say one thing, but then they come out and contradict themselves in, like his powers and stuff. What else? Obviously, he was a theoretical physicist, master in science and electrical engineering and blah, 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 blah. But then they contradict themselves to say that he has created technology that far exceeds any technology currently on Earth. So that's Reed Richards, right? That's Black Panther's T'Challa's sister. That is Bruce Banner. That's Tony Stark, right? Because all these are tech boys, right? And they're saying that this guy created technology that far exceeds any technology on the planet. But then Reed says, well, I put him on par with Dr. Doom. Now, when it comes to intelligence, right? Doom is like a 197.
Okay.
Right? Stark is like about the same, maybe a 205. Richards is like a 267, something like that. Now, theoretically, the most intelligent person in comics is Reed's daughter, Valerie.
Really?
So at 3 years old, she's smarter than her own father.
Damn.
Kind of a deal. But
who we see in Secret Wars.
Right. So, but what I'm saying is, even nerfed, which is what they try to do, and for the creator to say that he's at the same level as all these other guys, which he clearly is not, right?
Right.
I've never heard this person before. I think this is an amazing find. Whoever suggested it, it's a great find. And I'm going to do more deep diving into this. Yeah. Now, here's the other thing.
It was Broman Williams. Broman Williams 7787 suggested it. Good job, Broman.
Good job, bro, man. Excellent pick. Now, here's the thing about it. The trivia around, it's not the trivia, but they have these screen rants, right?
Yeah.
Where they're saying that Blue Marvel is like their top 10 strongest Avenger, still missing from the MCU.
Yeah.
10 heroes who should be introduced in Phase 5. CBR ranked Blue Marvel first in their Marvel Comics, the most powerful African-American characters.
Damn.
First in their 10 Marvel heroes we wanted to see in the MCU Phase 5. I mean, he's all over the place and everybody wants him. But he's just, it's like T'Challa being the richest person on the planet. This is clearly the strongest superhero that we have, right? Probably except for the people that like a Franklin Richards, right? So I'm just surprised I've never heard of him before. But I do think that the author or the creator of this person is really playing it safe, especially considering this is a black character that was developed in the 60s. You don't want to hurt Superman, Orion, all these other people that he clearly supersedes when it comes to power sets. So excellent choice. But again, I think that the power set, the era that he grew up in, the other characters that he interacted with, the Monica Rambeau, the Namors, he's the godfather of the Watcher's kids, the fact that he kicked all the Avengers' ass, all this kind of stuff. And then the person that created him, Kevin Graveau, has also created all these 188 characters, dude. Damn. He's created all those characters. He's been in all these movies and stuff. Yeah. He's, created, like I said, the Underworld, starred in Underworld. An amazing mind creating amazing characters. Yeah. That's how I characterize all this stuff. Nice. So excellent choice.
Good job, bro, man, and good job, Adrian, dude, knocking out of the park again.
Dude, we will be seeing this character again, I think.
You think he'll show up in the MCU?
Well, he's going to show up on my list again somewhere. Oh, okay. I can tell you that.
Gotcha. Awesome hidden gem. Moving on real quick, we get a lot of questions, Adrian, about what comic should somebody read who's just getting into comic books. And there's so many. All of them, right? All of them. This is one, I don't know that you've read this, Batman Haunted Knight.
No.
So this was kind of the predecessor to the Long Halloween.
Okay.
There was a Batman, I think it's Legends of Dark Knight series. There's some good comics in that series. There's there's Prey, where Batman interacts with Hugo Strange early on. It takes place very early on in Batman's career. Uh-huh. It's like a four-issue series. It's a fun little comic. There's Venom, which is a big, I think, very underrated comic. Batman basically fails saving somebody. Little kid dies, and it eats at him. Right. And he's introduced to a drug, Venom, which actually is the drug that Bane ends up using.
Right.
Batman meets this doctor who, makes his shit in his house, and he gets hooked on it. Makes him strong, but he's strong as shit. And this is from the early 90s, so it's still a little campy at times. But you see Batman go through an addiction with this drug for power, and he's beating the shit out of criminals even worse. It's a nice little story. But in this Legends of Batman, there was 3 issues that Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale worked on together, and they were the ones that ended up creating the Long Halloween. And you were talking earlier about episodic versus serialized. Right. This is very episodic. These 3 stories don't really tie to anything. They're standalone. They all have like a spooky feel, if you will. There's a Scarecrow story. There's one where Mad Hatter is the main focus, and then there's one that pulls from, the old Christmas tale where the Coast of Christmas Past, and this is the whole deal. It pulls from that a little bit, where Batman eats some shrimp, gets sick, and then has these fever type dreams with villain showing up in ghost form. His dad shows up in ghost form. So they're fun little stories. So this is one, Batman Haunted Knight. I highly recommend. I love it's classic Tim Sale artwork, dude. It's nice, good stuff here. So you see a young Barbara Gordon in here when Jim Gordon first adopts his niece. Depending on what story you read, sometimes she's his daughter, sometimes she's his niece. Right. I like the stories where he adopts her as a niece. It makes more sense. I highly recommend this, dude. Batman Haunted Knight.
I see you got the old blue and gray suit in there.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yep. That's one of your favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does have and dude, just look at this artwork. So, matter of fact, if you want, here, I'll let you. There you go. Take that one home for you. See about giving, dude,
Tis the season.
Tis the season, dude. But, hey, if you knock that out, maybe we'll do a little deep dive next week or the week after.
All right.
So, Moving on, Adrian. They're giving me the signal to go home. They in the booth over there.
Right. That reflection in the mirror.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just me. I'm telling myself. Agree to disagree. Everybody's favorite segment.
Oh, let's do it.
This is the one that stirs the pot a lot of times. And I like to stir the pot in case you've just met me today or don't.
Right.
You know? So this is where I'm going to rapid fire 10 of my opinions at Adrian. And Adrian's going to let me know. Here's the key. In his opinion, does he agree with me or not? So you can't, well, you can. You shouldn't go, he's wrong. Because guess what? You can't be wrong about your own opinion.
Right.
You know, you could be wrong if things are facts. But as you pointed out, we're talking about made-up characters.
That's it.
So everybody buckle up. Calm the fuck down, and let's go on a little ride, okay? You ready?
Let's do it.
Number 1, the Penguin is better than Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Absolutely.
You know, I had to just drag stop making Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man.
I think we've covered this, but yes.
And while you're at it, stop making Batman shit without Batman, too. All in the same.
All of it.
And no, we're not talking about Penguin, because and if you don't know what we mean, go back and find that part of the podcast. So, Loki currently has the best MCU character arc.
I agree with that.
John Turturro was a better Carmine Falcone than Mark Strong.
By default, I would say I disagree.
Yeah.
Because that character is, like I said, is benign to me. So I didn't even really notice the difference. Yeah.
And you didn't mind Mark Strong's portrayal.
Not at all.
It wasn't bad. Again, before people go, don't be disrespecting Mark Strong. Listen, he's a great actor. All I'm saying is, like, you know, some people like, you know, apples over oranges. Some people like pizza over calzones. It's the same shit. You just fold it up, but, you know.
That's it.
So in this, you know, out of these two, I like John Turturro's portrayal over Mark Strong. I don't mind Mark Strong, though. So not to have to over-explain myself, but moving on. We need to see Thanos get soul snatched by God Emperor Doom in the Secret Wars.
Not only Thanos, but Scott, too.
I'm down with that, too. Anytime Scott can get snatched up.
Right.
This one's a prediction, Adrian. Spider-Man will show up in Venom 3. You think I'm right?
I disagree.
Okay. We'll find out. Venom 3 will be the best of the Venom movies.
I hope so.
That's not an agree. That's a wish.
Dude, you got two chances to fuck it up. I mean, hopefully you do something right.
What did Deadpool say? An educated wish?
Right.
That's an educated wish right there. Tom Hardy, I'm going to predict you're not going to agree with this one. Tom Hardy's Venom should cross over to the MCU.
I actually agree.
Really? Okay.
I mean, just stop the line. I don't give a shit what you do.
Right.
I mean, you are the Venom at this point.
Exactly.
I mean, there's no
You're
replacement.
the one we got.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So please cross over.
Yep. All right.
Dress as you're crossing over. I don't give a shit what you do. Just do something.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Right. And again, my hypocrisy knows no bounds because, yes, I will shit all over the Tom Hardy Venom. But to your point, he's the Venom we got right now.
Right.
Might as well bring him to the party. Fuck it at this point. I promise you this, it will be better than his Bane. I know that.
Yeah.
If you judge us off of one TikTok, you might upset yourself.
I think that's true.
So to solve that problem, go to our YouTube and subscribe.
Right.
That's all you got to do.
Yep.
Get the full effect, dude. Because in doses, sometimes we may be upsetting to some.
Right.
And the cure for that is to watch a full episode on YouTube.
That's it.
I'm prescribing. I'm like a doctor over here, dude.
Put down the hose and just get put down the garden hose and just open up the fire hose.
There you go. Yep. Jump right in. No toe dip. Jump in that pool, dude. Yep. Fuck you afraid of? Sink or swim. Anyways, that was the Agree to Disagree. That was our show. Yep. Another week here on Only Comments. And if you have not noticed yet, I probably should have said this in the beginning.
What's that?
We are not experts.
We're not.
We
forget shit. We forget names.
We misname things. We may say something that's not true.
Right.
You should fact check our shit.
Yep.
We're not experts. We're only fans.
Yep. Or
no. We're just fans.
Right.
There we go.
Maybe only YouTube.
Yeah, only YouTube. There you go. We're only YouTube. Well, we're on Spotify too. So
yeah.
Anyways, but another fun ride, Adrian. Thanks for coming out today.
Absolutely.
Thanks for showing up. You know, Guys, thanks for tuning in. Hit subscribe button if you haven't already. Like this, share this, and we got some other fun content. I've been at work, Adrian. Yeah. I've been working on some stuff, so I got a Batman Year One video coming out this week where I'm going to explain why, number one, it is the ultimate Batman origin story, but it's not perfect. But it's also a must-read, so stay tuned. Drop it any day now. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Adrian, thanks for coming out.
Absolutely, babe.
And we'll see you next week right here on Only Comics.
Oh, wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
I just called you babe.
Uh-oh. You watch too much Agatha.
Is it? Or I didn't. I saw the Catwoman thing.
That's what
I don't know. Maybe we're going to turn some people.
Well, based on the math, all you have to do now is watch someone straight, and it'll turn you right back. That's all you got to do.
There you go.
Problem solved.
Watch us next week.
It'll be gone. Yeah, don't get nervous. But stay tuned. We'll see you next week right here on Only Comics.
Peace.